Okay, recording has started. We've got some paperwork to go through before we pick out what the next adventure is going to be, and that would be the building site. I think was there only one character that was working on it? Was it Henri?
I'm still working on getting my feet open, but maybe.
Yeah, I think Henri is the only one who was working on the building site yesterday. Everyone else, don't forget to figure out what to do with your renown from the previous session. And to add in the experience points for the characters that went to school. Did anyone need to make any tests or rolls for their school for the previous day? Anyone trying to get into any additional classes or earn merits?
I assume I can't make a roll if I'm trading a talent from a different class, right?
Right. Ooh, so you're getting a new talent.
Yeah, that's this gain esoteric education.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Ilaros is going to school today. He's got like a buttload of experience points to be using up.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it currently has 18 available experience points.
Hi. Ed, for Mina, go ahead and take the esoteric fabrication, and we'll try it out. See how it works. See if it feels good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm slowly getting to potential. I'm kind of moving through posture right now, but once I get to potential, it's going to need a big relief. I think potential as it stands is fine. I think that this scholastic magic needs to be rethought.
It seems to be working pretty well. But yeah, we'll see. This is a good early game trial run.
I think the fundamental problem is that
Oh.
at least in the discussion of methods, I think I need to read my own shit and deal with it because the discussion of methods there are very specific. So potentially, like instead of having esoteric memorization, blah blah blah, and all that shit, maybe there should be a talent called like elven style magic or something, right? Like a setting specific kind of discussion.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that. But
Yeah,
for today, we're going to do it this way.
Yep.
Okay. Did anybody? Let's see. Nobody's at the Crimson Academy. Oh no, we did. We have Bax. You need to do your Crimson Academy rolls. Kristen, I see some rolls. Was that from today?
Henri for the Oakbrine rebuild?
Oh, okay. Did not get any successes, I see.
Correct.
Aw. Oh well.
He just kicked rocks.
Fortunately, the carpenter and the smith are there to put in their 10 successes. Bring the total successes up to 44, which means today will be the last day where contributions can also search the rubble for treasure. All right then. Yeah, Bax, your Crimson Academy. Are you participating in a drill that can earn merits?
Oh, sorry. Jackie was in the bathroom.
Oh,
He's
okay.
almost back here.
Okay, we'll address that then.
I just had a small question so I can figure out exactly which way I want to, which scholastic way I want to get Elros to go. I was thinking about it. We're talking about like how Elros, like the bloodline, he has magic in his hand, has the tangle in his hands, which is used for crafting. I was wondering, would that also affect crafting spells, or would that just be for crafting crafting?
No, I mean you have the tangle, right? So you get whatever the tangle gets. The hand thing is going to be specific, right?
Yeah, so it's not inventing things, which is a mental exercise. It's the actual hands-on working with the raw materials. That's the activity it'll advantage. Or bonus, or whatever it is it's doing.
I have returned.
Welcome back. Is Bax doing an activity at the Crimson Academy yesterday that would require rolls?
I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Okay. Are you spending one of your tokens to go to get some of the more advanced training, or are you still just doing the exercise?
I'm gonna do one more round of basic.
Okay. Is Bax showing any interest or inclination in what direction they want to advance their career?
As soon as I've got a few stacked up, it's gonna be sword drills.
Nice.
My first test, 5 successes.
Ooh, nailed it. Next, we'll see how well you leap from the balance pole to balance pole.
I fucking eat it.
Took a little fall there, yeah. And I think the last one is just picking up heavy objects and carrying them.
I'm doing the perception and acrobatics.
Oh, the perception one. Okay, all right. And you make it through all the timed motion obstacles, dodging all the little spinning bats and stuff.
So it's 2 more tokens.
Excellent. Your instructors are quite impressed. All right. For today, there are some new options for adventures and a couple old options that are left over. So, the Skull Kids have been playing at being criminals lately because they encountered the Pinecone Brothers criminal syndicate when they were visiting the restaurant the other day. And that sounds interesting. There is a criminal syndicate that is the restaurant pays protection money to, and apparently they visit the restaurant and protect it. So that is something that could be investigated. Additionally, Miss Maybell has been going out for evenings after dinner with Coddle, and has been coming back with new hat, new purse, new dress. What is she up to? Where is she getting this new stuff?
Miss Mabel has a sugar daddy. Or a job. Or a job. You know.
Or a job, or Coddle's buying her gifts, or something else. Yeah, so you can investigate Miss Mabel, you can investigate the Pinecone Brothers, you can explore the city, you can investigate the mysterious dreams about Mangrove's future. Also, exploring the Undercity is now an option, although that is rated as dangerous.
It was pretty fucking scary last time, so...
And you can explore the Northern Forest, which is, so you got overheard that there's sort of an investigation going on with the trolls that you guys found underground. So the Bax overheard that there are agents that are from the Crimson Guard, found out from some visiting mages that there apparently were trolls in the city. They've tracked them north, and so that's where that's going on. If you do go into the Undercity, there probably will be Crimson Guard down there examining the site of your battle from the previous day. So yeah, what does the party want to do? And then we'll figure out who you guys are bringing out to do it with. Or figure out the other way, whatever you want to do.
I don't know. Glup seems like he really wants to do the Pinecone Brothers, because that sounds like some group that's trying to shake into our area. Clearly, this is our area.
Yeah,
Trying to be a little gangbanger, bro?
you're not shaking into their area at all.
Glup is not greedy at all. Totally.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking Henri out, and he would also be interested in something along those lines.
Yeah. Glup just yesterday increased his crime to 4.
Yeah, I may have, I'm gonna take a break from Trompy for sure. Trompy was out for like the last 3 sessions doing triplet shit. So I'll figure it out from there.
I already know I'm bringing Araxi, but Araxi pretty much does not care. Araxi's just cooped up and annoyed at all the adults.
But yeah, Chompy's gonna like come back swole after all that experience.
Trompy has an unspent renown that I'm gonna need to figure out how to shovel down into points of some kind.
Yeah, I think that's at least worth 9 points.
Trumpy's been working with the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild as well. They have all kinds of stuff you can learn.
Yep.
Is Trumpy feeling comfortable there with the things they're teaching?
I mean, like, realistically, what I want for Trompy is for them to be kind of like, oh my gosh, Sigurd, in that they have encyclopedic knowledge of a wide variety of subjects. That's what Trompy's, like, super interested in. And so having access to, like, a general library may be more beneficial than a magic library. I know we were running into problems researching more general knowledge at that library, but I don't really have access to that. And, you know, I don't know if I necessarily want to do magic with this character, but having them be an int-based character is definitely, like, my approach for this character.
Trumpy may...
Have him be a super knowledgeable generalist, you know?
Maybe spending some time with management, learning some leadership and management talents would be a way to go for Trumpy too.
That's definitely an option, because that is very Sigurd-ish.
Mm-hmm. And the ATGs...
I mean, I've got some pretty good skills already. I've got level 3 scholarship, level 3 investigation. Pretty good skills already growing here, so... I may want to invest in some talents, maybe. I don't know. Maybe some aptitudes might be good.
Take a look at the talents that management has in the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild. You may find something there that you like. Alrighty, so back to the decision. I'm hearing a strong preference, I think, for going and learning about the Pinecombe brothers. Is that correct? Or did others have other things you guys want to do?
Are the Pinecone brothers encroaching on our turf?
I think that's probably the most interesting little morsel there. I'm also deeply curious about what's happening with Miss Mabel, but I feel like the type of shit that we can get into is like less scary. So let's go for a little bit more excitement.
To answer your,
rats.
What was confronting the troll not exciting enough for you?
I mean, it's like this is like a downgrade from that, you know. Like this is not as bad as a troll.
well, from what you've heard, the Pinecombe brothers are they are a protection racket basically for businesses, and the restaurant that the Skull Kids went to. That's their territory. It's actually directly across the street from the university, and the Skull Kids met the criminals and were enamored with them and are now pretending to be criminals and are playing at being mob bosses.
Yeah. Guessing Miss Babel really loves that.
It doesn't seem like they made any threats or anything. It seemed like they were friendly mob bosses, maybe.
Reggie says, I dislike protection rackets.
So the leadership thing is cool, but I am actually more interested in the crafting and engineering aspect of the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild because I feel like that's honestly more interesting for a halfling child. And Trompy's personality type is more withdrawn. They're a little less go-getter in some ways. I feel like that's more Wampy's thing, the leadership thing.
Okay.
So I may be interested in going down the crafting engineering route.
They've got a research and development department, a production department, and a compliance and quality assurance department. The compliance and quality assurance department is primarily tasked with making sure that they, for every non-healing potion they make the requisite number of healing potions to comply with the city's ordinance on affordable healing potion care.
And I do already have a point in medicine, so I might go that route.
Oh yeah, join the medicine grade. Yeah, what's it? Kyle just boosted up to medicine 4.
I have like a disgusting number of experience points on this character, so it's gonna be Trompy's gonna be buff.
Oh, and Kristen, for Francis, there is an updated private tutors and clubs stuff for you for the Secret Animation Club. The things that the Necromancer has taught you are now there, available to be learned.
Nice.
You also now got like the cool kid in the Necromancer Club status because you actually got to meet a real lich.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Is that like... I was going to say, is that like a school that I would attend while others are going mischief, or
Correct.
how does that...
Yeah, it's another form of school. It's private to Francis. Francis is the only one that has access to it at the moment. But you'll find it in the private tutors and clubs document. It's the Secret Animation Club. Troy, I haven't heard from you yet. Did you have a preference for adventure? I'm seeing the light but not hearing sound.
I think we might have figured out why we hadn't heard from Troy yet.
Mystery solved. right. Well, while Troy is sorting out microphone issues, did anybody have anything else they wanted to look at for their other characters?
I do have one more small question. Is there anyone that we have like in the city that knows anything about? I always kind of forget what the name of the faith is, but the one that involves Ashta.
The Kael?
Yeah, Kael.
Yeah, because they're
That's Apthian technically, but
they're a branch of the Apthian faith.
But at the same time, they're like technically anti-Apthian because they hate every other god.
that's like saying Loki's not part of the Norse pantheon because he's antagonistic. That's not really the case. It's a
Well, it's
little
still
different.
not. Well, they're not. He's not creating his own plague to wipe out the whole universe like everyone else's. All the other gods are.
That you know of. This is a trickster god.
Or maybe the armies of the West rallying against Aphthis is the plague.
Alcoholism is the greatest disease brought upon man.
But yeah, well, did you have a more detailed question, or did you just need to know the name?
Because I know that that Kylil has divine potential as one of his things, so I just wanted to keep an eye out for stuff like that. Well, he hasn't put any points into it yet, but yeah.
There are priests in the city. And not just priests of Kael. There's priests of other entities.
Do you have any particular god that your divine potential applies to? Like, you're Apthian, right?
Yes, it's to Kylil. Because their thing is brother something, I forget.
Brother Jonathan?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there are Kaelite priests are in the city. They are healers. Yep.
They perform
Pretty
a
much any
valuable
hospital.
social service during this Apthian plague situation.
Yeah. At pretty much any hospital, you'll find them. And if you don't, it's probably not a good hospital.
Yeah, I need to find someone that knows divine magic before I can increase my potential in divine. Is that so?
You'll need to find a teacher. Yeah.
Or I mean, I guess you can meditate on the principles of Kael. I don't know. Like, I don't know what you have access to, right? Like, were you raised in I mean, you're an orphan, so it's complicated. I'm not really sure.
No, it was like one of the I took it up as a potential recently because of like.
His parents sent him here so that he would avoid the having a dead person's soul implanted into his body.
Gotcha. I mean, so like the idea of a divine potential is like you've acquired a potential because you've had some success at manifesting some power or connecting to something, right? So whatever caused you to get the potential might give you a clue as to how you can improve it. You don't necessarily need a teacher, right? But like,
yeah, I think that was when I was learning more about how to make more healing stuff and things like potions and stuff. But yeah, I do have a lot of medicine.
You can learn how to make healing potions without actually exploring your divine potential. That can be done by learning potion making.
Yeah, I have pharmacists.
Excellent. But yes, if you want the character to explore that, then you'll probably want to explore the city, or meditate, or try and find some other way to access it.
Kaelites aren't big on teaching other Kaelites things. I mean,
lying is part of their thing.
Yeah.
But you could have them spend the day just in meditation trying to make contact with Kael, the patron god of that religion.
Yeah.
Or you could just do it, I feel like you could do sort of a religious praxis where you spend your day lying to people as convincingly as possible.
We're just making shit up, yeah.
Making shit up, telling flights of fancy.
Getting drunk.
You're a child, so don't do that.
Probably not the best idea for a child.
Absolutely not verboten. I mean, I'm sure. Here's the thing: it's a war-torn country. I'm sure it does happen because, like, in reality, that's kind of one of those things that can happen. But let's keep it PG-13. Let's keep it PG-13.
Given that there's one adult trying to manage this entire orphanage, you couldn't be stopped, really. But yeah,
I'm not sure that's the right tone.
Right?
For the
Yeah.
story that we're trying to play. I know we're like, orphans because of war and shit, but
Yeah, your average Kalite priest is going to tell you, like, if you're a priest of Kael, like, you want to be a priest of Kael, go out there and perform miracles.
Yeah,
you could try laying on hands. I guess try laying on hands and see what you can do for people.
Yeah, because I started off with the chosen potential, but then I also acquired the divine potential. I still have to put points into them.
All right. How's the microphone coming, Troy?
I assume it's working now.
Yay! It's working. All right. Did you have a preference for which adventure you wanted your character to go on today?
Not entirely. The Pinecone Brothers sounded interesting, but if we're leaning somewhere else.
Oh, I just need to hear sort of a consensus from the group.
I think we're leaning Pinecone Brothers based on what I've heard. But if anyone would like to really strongly interject and find out where Miss Maple is getting all this fabulousness from, then, I forget what the other one was, but, those two are definitely the most interesting of the two that I can recall.
Araxi thinks it's very cute that the Pyco brothers are taking care of their community.
Which is one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I don't see any different than when like the soldiers in red armor like get paid to like protect people.
Except for that, no one pays for them. The thing is that the Skulls are already paying for the Crimson Guard based on, I'm assuming, taxes. And so they shouldn't need an additional layer of protection, so...
Reggie shakes his head and says, taxation, the biggest protection racket of them all.
Absolutely, but I know you're a proponent of order. And so having this many individual purveyors of protection does seem a little bit... opportunistic. Or maybe you like the free market shit, I don't know.
Reggie just shrugs and says, these people aren't producing any value, they're stealing value from other people. This makes for an inefficient market. I dislike it. It's like...
being double charged for the same service, so I mean... Yeah.
He says, the city is what the city is. We can quibble about whether it's, whether it's funneling resources in the right direction, but it does, you can't really argue it. It does provide some services. These guys just seem to be leeches.
Araxi says, I bet they provide more protection than your stupid, people in red armor or whatever.
He says, that's possible, and if they're strong enough to extract this value from other people, then they deserve to have it. He says,
Bax, who's at the Crimson Academy and is absolutely crushing it and has 5 fitness merits to her name, is feeling quite proud of herself, is a little bit miffed about the blemishing of the Crimson Academy name, the Crimson Guard, because, for her, it's not even about the fact that they're cops, because obviously that sucks, she's an orphan, she's not really necessarily interested in that aspect of it, but the fact that they are trained does give her a level of respect for their, expertise. So she wants to get in on this shit. She's gonna beat some protection racket ass. She's not actually good at anything right now, so it's good. We'll see how that goes.
Araxi does 3 backflips in your face just to rub it in.
I would like to attempt an acrobatics roll right now to counter this.
Go for it.
I'm assuming Araxi automatically succeeds, so
it's a dance-off.
it's a dance off. Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna roll some fucking
competing
dice.
acrobatics rolls.
Agility acrobatics.
Alright,
Hey,
Uh,
anyone want to bet?
So I have a point in athletic potential now. Does this guy use this?
Yeah, you have advantage because you're doing an acrobatics check, so that potential can be used in addition to your stats.
I have a point in heroics. Can I argue that I'm doing this in a way that's super badass? I'm doing it off some crates. Let's find out.
You're not really up against a threat, so this isn't super.
I guess so. I guess so. This is more boasting, less heroic.
Yeah.
So I respect your verdict, Judge.
Good luck.
This is the two kids watching each other on skateboard tricks until one of them basically just like.
Can I argue Gunther
Accent,
costume
though.
at least? Can I argue my costume at least for flourish?
Yeah.
Yeah, your costume you can argue. Boasting was 100% a phase.
I'm sure I do a backflip, but definitely not as cool as yours.
The general consensus among everyone is that Araxi definitely did the better backflip.
I'm gonna take attacks from my composure. I'm kidding. I mean, if this was actually, if we were doing social combat as like children, then definitely I would take a composure damage, right?
2 points of it, yeah, because she beat it
Jesus.
too.
No, I'm gonna be cool. I'm good. I don't think I'm actually gonna take those. Thanks.
Araxi does not rub it in.
Now, Bax is good natured, and she's gonna try again one of these days, and she'll get it. She'll get it.
To be fair, you tried to acrobatic a frog.
I mean, all things considered, as a human backflip, that's a pretty solid human backflip.
Yes, in human standards, that is a good backflip.
I feel better. I feel better.
Alrighty, going through the spreadsheet here, it looks like we're taking Araxi, Kofrik, Glup, Andre, Bax, and Ed. Is Reggie the one coming for you?
Yeah, Reggie will come on. If we're dealing with the pinecone voice, whatever the hell they call themselves.
In which case, Mari and Shari are doing what?
They'll go to school.
I am very tempted to continue helping with the build, but I need to work on some of the characters here, so... I did have a quick question. How cold and how quickly does my gem, my little shard of eternal ice?
Your shard is never anything other than cold. If you put it into a liquid, the liquid becomes cold almost immediately, and if you leave it in too long, it starts to freeze.
And then you put it back down the back of someone's shirt.
Holding it with your bare hand for too long hurts. And while you're wearing it as a necklace under your shirt, no matter how many coats you wear, it will always be cold and breezy.
What time of year is it?
I think it's autumn. I honestly, I'm grunting off of my memory of what was going on when the moon fell, and I'm pretty sure that happened early autumn, right?
Well, yes, because there was the Harvest Festival, and it happened after that.
Well, yeah, I put the Harvest Festival there based on my memory of it being
For sure.
autumn in Aphthis when the moon fell. I think. I hope I'm right. Otherwise,
I was just
the Harvest
curious. I just
Festival
wanted
doesn't
to,
make sense.
a little
We just
flavor.
had a harvest festival in like January.
It depends on what you're harvesting, right?
Depends on what the month is, because this is not Earth End, you know?
And there could
Seasons.
be there could be all kinds of wild crops that grow in weird seasons.
Magic.
But unless I'm told otherwise, I think we're in like mid to late autumn now. And early to mid autumn, I'd say. So the snows haven't come yet, except obviously in the cold spot where it's always snowy.
So I had a question. In regards to, say, like, Trumpy, I have to spend this for now, because that was part of, we have to do it now, before I do anything else, basically. What can I get with that that's not experience Is it just resources and connections?
Resources,
Or can I make an item?
connections. You can, if there's an item that you have, you can make that item a part of your character, basically, like Indiana Jones's hat, and that like no matter what happens, it'll always come back to you. Or if there is a character that interacted with you heavily during this that's not already reserved for some other purpose, you can claim them as a mentor or a follower.
Okay.
Ooh, in that case, can I make that hammer that Wallpy wanted a
Character item?
character item?
Yes, you can.
Badass. It's a good hammer, actually, right? Like, it's actually really dope.
It's an appearance 6 hammer, and it's a quality 6 hammer in terms of appearance, and a quality 4 hammer in terms of actual use.
Nice.
How do I note that?
It's a quality 4 hammer, and it has a property which is +2 quality when being used purely for aesthetics.
I think, are you asking about
I'm
noting it as a
asking about
character item?
I did not
Oh.
note it that way, but I did it in a way that makes sense for me. But how do I note it as a character item?
Oh, a property that it is, yeah, your character item. It is Wampy's special hammer now and forever.
You could name it.
Alrighty. Is there anything that the kids would like to do before they leave the orphanage? Do you want to talk to the Skull children? Maybe try to recruit some of them to come along? Talk to Miss Maybell? Or do you guys just want to head on out there? This is prep work before you begin your investigation. What's the play?
Would the Thieves Guild have any information on these people?
100%. They're probably registered.
Maybe we could do some
Yeah.
research.
That's actually really
Yeah.
smart, because nobody would be running a racket like this without the full knowledge of the Thieves Guild. They fucking know everything.
Yep.
They know the color of the fucking king's underwear, probably. Like,
Surprise, he doesn't wear any.
well, in that case, it's flesh tone.
It's not just that they're really good spies, but in this case, it's very likely that these guys went to them to fill out paperwork and register as a criminal organization.
Because they're allowed to do this.
Yeah,
basically.
they're part of the Thieves Guild, and they're performing tasks
Tax
within
collection.
within the realm of what the Thieves Guild considers acceptable. So when they collect protection money, they leave a receipt so that the Thieves Guild knows to not steal the money that they've already collected. Stuff
Okay,
like that.
so in this case, do we try and find out if they're skimming off the top and taking more than they're supposed to?
Or potentially make it look like they're skimming off more than that top.
Reggie says, I'm most interested if, I mean, they're leaving receipts. That's entirely good. I'm just wondering if those receipts are official stamped rights and properties paper. Can't have a legal document unless it's officiated by the rights and properties.
Is that true in this case, bureaucratically speaking?
Yes. So within the city of Celebre, the Rights and Properties Guild has, for a very long time, fought to maintain within the courts that documents are only legal if they are printed on paper that they manufactured.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
If you don't have the watermark, yeah, it's not official. It's basically notary public, except that, yeah.
Well, it sounds like we've got grounds for an investigation.
Do criminal organizations care about those rules?
How? When did this turn into an investigation?
When a bunch of kids decided that it was our business, I guess? Like this, you know? I guess we don't really need a pretense to go around snooping around.
You
Reggie-
don't. And from what you can tell from what the kids are saying, you could just walk into the restaurant and say hi to the mob boss, because that's what they did.
Reggie cracks his knuckles and says, "This is an investigation. I'm ready to give a legal beatdown."
Oh my god. That's amazing. I love that. This character's so good.
So, did we want to the ones of us that can go into the Thieves Guild go into the Thieves Guild?
I just want to tell him thank you.
Fucking nerd.
So, what is our gripe with this syndicate?
That's a great question. At the moment, all you know is that they are running a standard protection racket for this particular family restaurant that's run by skulls, and that the skull children met the mob boss and enjoyed the interaction to the point where now they're playing at being mob boss at home. That's really all the information you've got at the moment.
See, they're already indoctrinating children at a young age to become mob bosses.
So you can approach this from the perspective of wanting to get recruited and turn them into an available thieves' den for those of you that want to work for the Thieves Guild, or you can approach this from an adversarial perspective and maybe try to get them to stop doing their protection racket on the restaurant with whatever consequences that may have. Which might be that the restaurant likes you more and gives you free food, or maybe joins the effort to rebuild Oakbrine. Your little Oakbrine could get a new restaurant in the mix.
Intercommunity solidarity, bro.
Could be. There could be all kinds of things going on.
What's the bad stuff that can happen to us, Dave? What's behind door number 3?
It's never a guarantee that everything goes according to plan.
We could be spending the next session finding all these missing children.
Basically, we got to make the bad stuff happen so we can find out what that bad stuff.
Got it. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Okay,
So
let's get into the shit then.
I know I'm going to the Thieves Guild to go get some more information.
Yeah, Henri is going to join that effort.
Okay, so we're done at the orphanage. We're moving on to the Thieves Guild to start getting some records, right?
Research phase. Yes. Bax is also going to work on her vertical leap.
Araxi is going to give you some tips, but they only make sense to a frog.
Like, my center of gravity is just completely different.
Yeah.
You got to get the webbing on your feet spread just right.
I try that very hard. Really spread my toes out. Like,
And your clock toe muscle, you'll have to make sure that's a bit more tense.
Make sure your tongue isn't tensed to grab a fly out of the air. Otherwise, you're putting excess energy into that could be in your legs.
I want you to imagine that Bax is standing much like a Thanksgiving turkey might.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. That's
Nice.
You're like, according to subsection C.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, dude. Oh, fuck, you're gonna fuck him up.
All right. You arrive at the Thieves. The Thieves Guild records headquarters, which is not super fiefy and actually pretty easy to get into. Some of you guys have credentials to just go right in. What is it that you would like to look for? And then go ahead and make your rolls roll.
I suppose any of the financial records that we have on file.
I'm trying to look for anything in the records that involve the Pinecone brothers that might be like, it might look like it's normal, but like they're like they might be potentially ripping off the Thieves Guild, and but in the wording it's like weird. Yeah.
Okay. Looking for irregularities.
Yeah, with some crime.
Bear in mind, of course, that because this is the Thieves Guild's records, these records will only contain things the Thieves Guild knows. So if there's something that they're lying to the Thieves Guild about, you're not going to see the lie yet until you check their own records.
See, we will need an investigation.
Yep. But yeah, go ahead and make focus plus investigation rolls, see what you discover, or if you're trying to do something specifically mathematical, you can do a scholarship plus cunning. So, such as the irregularities that you're looking for, Tice. That would be scholarship plus cunning. Just looking at their financials would be investigation plus focus.
I have a focus of 1. If there's any way I can contribute labor, I will be happy to do it.
If you would like to make a labor check to keep running and fetching documents for one of the other party members, then you can add your contribution in dice to their roll.
Excellent. I will do that. Vigor and labor, correct? For my roll, right? Vigor and labor, or is it just labor?
Vigor plus labor, yep.
Okay, tight.
Actually, since I'm not good with
Oh my god!
Nice.
Alright, can I have this docu already in front of Glup?
I think it might help to calculate what their annual revenue was last year or something, and then we can kind of see if we can compare that against their record.
Okay. Jackie, which character are you fetching things for? Or are you trying to divide it amongst everybody?
Everyone, they're your dice. I'm your workhorse. Take whatever dice you want.
Well, unless we have multiple things we want to look up, maybe we can join forces on this.
So Bax has contributed 5 extra dice to rolls for whatever you're looking up. If that's going to be trying to do the math to see if there's an irregularity, that's one roll. If you're going to be trying to just dig up their financials to look at that stuff, that's a second roll. You kind of need their financials to do the math, so yeah.
How many people are doing this roll? Because we may want to just get somebody who's got pretty good stats, give them a big chunk of dices, and hopefully they get successes. So who's got pips? Who's got good stat?
I roll 1 on the first one. I roll 3 on the second one.
Okay. Sounds like, well, yeah. With 5 extra dice helping you, that's pretty good.
So, do we need to roll to see to actually collect the financials first? Then,
So we have a sequence of things we want
Yeah,
to
so you're going to want to collect the financials, and how well you connect the financials is not actually dependent on, or is not going to affect the second roll. The second roll is is a mathematical evaluation of some basic information that you're looking at. Instead, collecting the financials, if you roll really well, lots of extra successes, you're going to get extra information. Beyond just having their financials in front of you, you'll have other things interconnected to those financials, such as rivalries, interactions with other thieves guilds, stuff that goes beyond just what they did.
more contextual and wider
Right.
information.
So that is the role that gives you a breadth of information, whereas that other role, the cunning plus scholarship role, will give you a height of information about a very small breadth of their activity.
got it. So, scholarship is the find the doc.
Finding the docs is investigation.
Oh, okay.
Who's got a good investigation?
I don't. But I've got a 2 in focus or cunning.
Investigation plus focus. See how much you gather. How many of those dice are you using for yourself, and how many are you leaving behind for Tice's roll?
Do you mean how many of Bax dice?
Yep.
Can I answer that after my roll to see how bad it is? Or should I answer before?
You should pick before, because Bax needs to focus their attention on you in order to help you.
Got it. Cool. I don't know. Maybe, like, so this first roll will... It's probably a good idea for us to get is a good amount here, so maybe we can take, like, 2 dice.
I'm on team information. I would use all the dice there, but that's up to you.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I'm going to be
Because-
rolling 2. Can anyone beat that with the investigation?
I have 3 with me. I have 2 investigation and 1 whatever the other that. So I have 3 total.
Oh, yeah, you should do this then. And then you can add 5 dice to it if you want to go all in.
Araxi's wondering how long it would take her to climb to the roof of this building. It is not particularly helpful because Araxi has no applicable skills.
Okay, I'll use 4 of the dice for the first roll.
Araxi, you notice that there are handholds that go up to the roof.
Yeah,
Almost,
but that's
almost
cheating.
like positioning people on the roof is something done on the regular here. All right, that's a lot of successes. So what was that roll?
That was the investigation one.
Okay, cool. So in your investigation, then, with 6, you have found out that going back for years, the Pinecombe Brothers Crime Syndicate has been in a hot rivalry with violence and deaths on both sides with another crime group called the Blade Breakers. It is... I was going to say it's not clear who started, but actually you've got 6, so it is pretty clear. When the Pinecombe brothers moved in, they actually came from outside of Celebre. They were Middle Kingdom immigrants that took over. They're not actually brothers. This is apparent to anyone because one of them is an orc and the other one is a gnome. But they refer to each other as brother and take offense when people point out that they're not brothers. So
Just brothers of a different sort, you know.
Right, brothers of a different sort. They, the Pinecombe brothers, they came from out of town, and they muscled in on some of the Blade Breakers' turf, but they muscled in financially and with non-lethal physical interactions. The Blade Breakers drew first blood, killing an enforcer. This was years ago. And the Thieves Guild has been keeping an eye on this situation because they're fine with people stealing from each other, but when they start murdering each other, there's a serious issue at play. So these guys have been under surveillance and observation to not be murdering each other for quite some time. Yeah. Did you have any questions about that relationship that you want to dig through? Because you got a lot of successes there.
I guess how this might be relevant in terms of overall how they're running their protection racket, and are they using their protection racket to finance potentially retaliation, escalation, anything like that, I guess? Just like
Right.
I mean, that's the only angle I can think of.
So a lot of their finances are filed under the necessary execution of the act of protecting the assets that have paid us for protection. And this is kind of code for we're spending this money on weapons in case they come at us, in case the rival gang comes at the restaurants that we're supposed to be protecting.
So there's there's very likely an arms race happening between these two.
Very likely they are using the money against each other, yeah. Extending that into the Blade Breakers' finances, they're actually less on the protection side. They do have a few places that they threaten, but their territory is much smaller than it used to be. for that, and instead they have converted a portion of their business out to general mercenary enterprise, operating outside the city and then coming back with treasure, as well as standard in-the-street thuggery. Catching people in alleyways, stealing their money, and giving them a receipt.
Curious, how can we use this to benefit the community?
Which community?
The community of the town.
Like Celebre?
Not Libre, like,
Talking about the
Oh,
neighborhood. The neighborhood.
Are you talking about Oakbrine, the little Oakbrine you guys are building?
yeah, Little O'Brien.
It looks like, from what you can see, the most beneficial thing would be for both of them to stay away. If they are indeed in a violent, sort of hidden war, then that would be problematic. Now, it has been about 2 years since an actual corpse has materialized, but plenty of blade breakers have gone outside the city on mercenary work and not returned, and plenty of Pinecone Brother employees have mysteriously moved out of the city without a word. So there's indications that both sides have lost some people in whatever their hidden conflict is.
You know what we gotta do is we gotta get the leaders of these two groups to get into a room, get them some ice cream, and perhaps they will change their ways.
Araxi thinks this is a great idea and says yes. What we need them to solve their differences for the betterment of the community and the territory that they are protecting.
Or we burn down the building they're in.
Reggie says there's no profit in resolution of this. But we should get the leaders in a room, separate rooms, and just see what kind of ordinance they need. I mean, there's profit in
It's not about
that.
profit, Reggie.
I mean, you guys are building essentially a mercenary outfitting stop for Little Oakbrine, right? Like, you're going to have a weaponsmith, you're going to have a potion maker.
I mean, these are great customers, and they're under duress.
No, they're not great customers when the gang war erupts in your fucking hotel, in your tavern, like straight up.
It's not always about profit, Reggie.
Reggie
You need to
says,
think about what's best for everyone involved,
he
which
says,
is
yeah,
peace.
I am thinking about that. So if we arm them both to kill each other, then we get peace, and also whatever they have. I mean, it's a win-win situation as far as I can tell. Also, we'll be protected by both sides because we're supplying both sides. So neither side's going to want us to go down because they need our stuff.
Until they find out that we're selling to the both and they're going to kill us all.
Well, that's why we use designated arming days for them. Like they can only come on this day.
Oh, you showed up on the wrong day. Oopsie. Like, that's all it takes. Are you kidding me?
Well, you see,
I'm so glad I'm going to the Crimson Academy. You guys have no idea what they're doing out there.
Well, what you see here, the Pinecone Brothers are more speciality in the whole protection business. They're literally technically two different branches of mafia bosses. So if we find a way to make them into sort of like a syndicate together, then they would be less of a threat. We just need to have a third party. I could always ask see if good old Panko wants to be a third thing in this, because you can't have two groups together because they'll always fight with each other. But if you have a third voice in the group, then there'll always be a deciding factor of what decisions they make.
Reggie says, all I'm saying is, like, it's very good business. These are mercenaries. They're easy to deal with. Standard rule 101 of mercenaries is you don't shit where you get your healing potions. Like, it's just straight up bad practice.
So what you're saying is we need to get Panko and the other two groups together and talk this over into making a unity, and then we would all be protected.
We need them to stop fighting each other, because that's not protection. That's conflict. That's fighting.
Yeah, my current idea is just to get Panko and the other two groups to agree to a meeting, and we get us to have a unity in the area, be able to provide arms, protection, and whatever the breakers do.
Now,
And
here's an interesting idea. Do you want them providing additional security for the Little Oak Brine construction project?
By security, do you mean they get to spend time digging through the rubble and finding shit for themselves? Because in that case, I don't really think so. That's my loot.
I don't.
Well,
I don't.
it would primarily be for after it's done. But once the shops are up and running, do you want to basically hire them as a private security force in case other criminal gangs try to rob you guys, burglarize the place, cause problems, etc.?
yeah, that's why we also need the breakers to be part of it, because the first group, the Pinecone brothers will be like sort of like the front of the security, while the other guys will be like behind the AC security of like people that are like in like the alleys and stuff.
From the records, it looks like the Pinecone brothers just run a security racket, whereas the Blade Breakers also do breaking and entering and street muggings.
Yes. Also, potentially any competitive businesses around us that try to do the same thing as us might just accidentally go out into poverty. So what do you think about that?
It sounds like the breakers are kind of assholes. So, like, maybe if we were gonna side with one side, we would side with the Pinecone brothers.
I mean, didn't you just say that the Skull kids were like, this guy's tight, he's pretty cool, they had a nice interaction with him? Like, it might behoove us to figure out, like, the general attitude and how each of these organizations interacts with the community directly. And if one of them is, like, like, obviously being mugged and shit is, like, not great, but are they really hurting people? Or are they letting them go? Are they just performing their duties as agents of the state, or are they being sadistic?
The records that you see in front of you indicate that the muggings are being filed. So they're issuing receipts and are filing them. Any muggings that are not being filed wouldn't be here. So if they are actually killing people to take their stuff, there'd be no record of it here unless they got caught.
Right, okay, so we would need to separately investigate both of these groups, see what they're up to. This would be a great training exercise for those of our party that may or may not be a part of the Thieves Guild. To engage in supervision, auditing of these agencies that are under state authority.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. He's like, he's just like, seizure of property in Celebre is just kind of a day-to-day thing. That's just kind of normal doing business, cost of doing business kind of deal. Murder brings the hand of God down from the Crimson Guard. Even the Thieves Guild doesn't have an assassin's arm that operates within the city.
That's the key word there, that operates within the city. They do have one. They're the Wolf Den, and they do not operate in the city. Which Glup is now a member of, technically.
Yeah, Glup is.
Alright, so do we even need to make a secondary role in regard to these financials?
Only if the secondary role would be if you're looking for something that you can accuse them of, some kind of irregularity or improper filing, or
do we have to do a role separately from one group to another? Do we have to separately roll for... Okay. I guess then... Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because if we can somehow suss out discrepancies with one group versus the other, or suspicious activity, then we can better focus our surveillance efforts. But we'll figure it out. There's one leftover roll of dice that I had for the roll.
I mean, I can make a cunning scholarship. You said?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, I can make a cunning scholarship just to see what comes up.
Which organization are you researching? Was it Pinecone Brothers or Blade Breakers?
I'll leave that up to the group. What would you like me to research?
I think
The Blade Breakers seem to be more suspicious, just generally, I think.
We already have some positive intel on.
Yeah. So let's just take a look at the Blade Breakers, I think.
Okay. So...
And there's one die left over, right? From Jack.
Yeah. Tyson only took.
All right, I'll roll that one, too, just to see if it's useful. It was not. So two successes.
All right. The only discrepancy you see is that some of the homes that they have robbed seemed to have just a little bit above the amount of claimable, stealable stuff. Not enough that it is super suspicious, but there is this pattern over the years that they are kind of maintaining an above average take from the neighborhoods that they're robbing. This could be explained in a couple ways. One of them is that they are taking more than they have a right to, and are overvaluing the homes so that they have permission to take the higher amount than what they're supposed to be taking. The other possibility is that they are not actually acquiring that money from those homes. They are acquiring that money through some other means and are using those burglaries as a way to launder the money to make it look like it came from those burglaries when it came from something else.
For instance, like if they killed someone.
For example, yeah. There is unfortunately not enough information or evidence to nail down what that source might be, whether it's killing somebody or something else. So there's really nothing that the Thieves Guild can do from this end without more information. But yeah, and it's such a slight discrepancy. It's almost as if they're being super careful to keep a low profile while they do the laundering, as though they are aware that the city is being run by professional criminals.
Sorry, I just can't get past the idea of laundering money by committing burglaries.
It's a wild city.
Hey, it's really honest in some ways.
Well, my thought is that we present Araxi as a potential recruit for breaking and entering. And get access to their books that way.
But if they're not recording it, I mean, I guess, do they have the whole, the book that we show to the IRS and the book we don't ever show to the IRS kind of situation? Is that, I guess,
well, they have to
document it.
If they are laundering.
That's true.
Money,
they
have to record that so they know how to launder it.
That's true.
There is a dirty book somewhere. If they're just taking too much,
there's still a dirty book.
There's not a dirty book. If they're taking just a little bit too much, there's not a dirty book because these are the actual books. But they probably have something in their instructions that says, here's how to get away with just taking a little bit more than you're supposed to.
Because of the quality of that roll, I'll go ahead and let you know if they are taking too much, you can actually find out by finding out what was left after they took it. Since they're only allowed to take certain percentages, if they took too much, then the remaining value would be too little. So you could visit one of the homes they robbed and take an accounting of it, somehow in secret, I don't know, break into their safe, count their money, and then leave it. And that would tell you whether or not that was the case.
Alright. I think at least it's worth knocking that down off the list, at least.
Do we know anything about their locations of where their headquarters are?
Yes, you have the official headquarters for both. Although there are notes that say that the Pinecone brothers spend a lot of their time in the restaurant. Technically, they do have an office, that is registered with the Rights and Properties Guild as the official place for audits and bookkeeping, but it's like a tiny little like closet in the back of a giant warehouse of such closets of stuff. Their actual like social operation happens out on the streets and in that restaurant.
And the other group?
The Blade Breakers have a proper den. They actually have a basement of a brothel that they operate out of. The brothel itself is part of the was it the Seamstress Guild? No. What was that guild that branched off into like everything else? Clothiers Guild?
Clothiers is branched off into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a Clothiers Guild building, and they are renting from the Clothiers Guild the basement for use as their thieves' den, where they do organization and training.
So we have 2 locations that we can potentially go to.
The Pinecone Brothers do, yes. The Blade Breakers have basically one location.
Should we, just to be on the safe side, check the Pinecone Brothers as well? I don't know if anybody else has. I would be rolling 1 die with Araxi, so somebody else would probably want to do this roll, but if they're both 30, then,
Right now, Bax is very good at labor. So... And punching stuff, I'm kind of okay at that.
Yeah, if you want to get into somewhere, I can definitely get into any place.
I can help with getting into place. We could also try a little distraction tactic, too, like if we want to have, like, someone knock on their door and while someone else sneaks in the back.
I mean, what I would suggest to you was we look at the Pinecone Brothers books while we're here still. Because we only looked at one of the books.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
I just only have 1 die to roll, so Araxi would be looking at them and like, 2 + 2 is 4.
Reggie's pretty good at this stuff, though.
Henri can help. I've got 2 for the mathematical. Annie.
Yeah, I only have 1 die in that category, so if there's a way we can boost up, I can follow Bax's example and try to contribute dice.
Alright, Bax did a Vigor plus Labor check to just run and get files for the researchers. You can do the same.
If that doesn't work, I can always see if I can pay someone to help us get those files.
Yeah, that worked last time.
I get. Could Araxi do an acrobatics check for this?
That would be very amusing to watch, but I don't think it would really solve the problem. The paperwork would get there in a very elegant, beautiful way. Okay, same number of successes. So so what you find for the Pinecone Brothers is that they run a very, very clean operation. Like, their bookkeeping is immaculate. The numbers add up flawlessly, almost suspiciously flawlessly. Every expense and every gain just they match up perfectly. It has a feeling like it was engineered to look perfect. There's no specific flaw you can point to, it's just a feeling.
It's the fact that even on a good day, there's a discrepancy of like 1 cent, 3 cents.
There's never a discrepancy, not even of a cent. And they only have good days.
Somewhere a dwarf is having a tear in their eye.
Their books never go into the red. They never take out debts or owe any money. They are always the ones owed, never the ones who owe anything. It's yeah. For a group of criminals, it's suspiciously good behavior.
So they're both suspicious as fuck. So we probably better just investigate them both.
Yeah.
I think that someone earlier mentioned something that I think would be interesting, which is kind of figuring out which one might be morally superior, or
Well,
That's shitty to the
if they're
community.
both dirty, we could show up to them with the evidence and say, make peace, or we're going to, or we could turn this over.
What do people feel about snitches in the Celebre? Can anyone tell me before we
We'd be turning it over to the Thieves Guild.
And there's literally a den that does that.
I guess so.
You
So
call
this
it-
is part of an intra.
This is a
institution.
freelance audit, is what we're doing here.
Yeah, and if your audit comes up with irregularities, the Bear Den is the ones that go out there and solve that problem. On the other hand, if you come up with a murder, that would be something that the Crimson Guard would want to know about. And Reggie was absolutely right. They come down like the wrath of God. It is, not a tolerated thing. Stealing from people is just commerce, right? But murder...
They just manage their commerce with a little bit of theatrical flair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a murder is the deletion of a potential customer from the entire city's economy. That is unacceptable.
Yeah, the Assassin's Guild was retired with prejudice, hundreds or thousands of years ago. Killing customers is bad business.
I think we mentioned-
Even guilds don't do targeted assassinations like that. Like even like the mining cooperative didn't do that stuff inside the city. They weren't that crazy.
Well, there was that one night.
That was the current king, though. That was
Yeah.
the with prejudice part of yeah.
I think that you mentioned that there were people going missing. Where could we investigate to find out, names of certain people that might have gone missing on either side?
You can copy down a list of the names of all of the retirees who moved out of town before anybody got to look at why they're retiring. There's also, you have a list of, from the Blade Breakers, you have a list of members that went outside of the city on mercenary missions and never came back.
Great. Yeah, Henri will write all that information down and suggest that we could investigate to see if any of these people might have actually been murdered.
We got a real interesting little bit of tests ahead of us here.
Yep.
If that's the route we want to go. I don't know what the best option is, but it sounds like if we can prove that either side has been murdering people, that then we might be able to bring the guard into it, or something else.
All right. Armed with this information, where do you guys want to go next? Obvious potential locations are Clothier's District to visit the Blade Breakers headquarters, University District to visit the Pinecombe Brothers restaurant of choice for meetings, Warehouse District to visit the Pinecombe Brothers record-keeping closet, or you could go to the the nobles district to check out one of the houses that was broken into and see if its internal wealth matches what was recorded in the filing.
I have no idea, man. I brought my dumb jock out for this one, so
This may prove to have actually been a very wise decision, depending
if
on
I need
which
to
way you
scale a
guys
wall,
go.
I've got you, bro. And then I can lift up whoever's the sneaky one to handle the other shit.
I think I brought my equivalent of a dumb jock as well, so I don't have any ideas either.
Yeah, I think Henri's most interested in, I guess, the murder angle, because, like, he doesn't care so much if they're trying to skim extra money, but it's maybe more interested in if they're resorting to murder. In which case, I don't know what the best way to investigate that, but we've got the list of names. Maybe if we go to one of the headquarters, we can start asking around there.
I mean, they're not going to share this information with us. I hope you know that. There's just
Well-
no way that these guys are going to say, "Oh yeah, we murdered some guy."
No. If we go, like, so we could go to, like, the Pinecone Brothers headquarters, and with the list of names of Pinecone Brothers people that have been, disappeared, and ask around about those people. Because basically, they didn't murder their own people, probably. So they might be more willing to give up information about their own people that have gone missing.
The only of the locations that I listed, the only one that doesn't involve directly interacting with the people you're investigating is the if you go to the nobles district and check out one of the robbery houses, you don't have to show your cards yet. So that's one way of getting information without getting involved. But yeah, and the other three options you're going to probably, unless you fail. Well, I'm sorry. Unless you succeed at some spectacular stealth checks, you're probably going to get noticed and end up in a conversation with the people you're investigating. And if that's what you want to do, that works.
I think that the checking out the nobles' houses would be trivial for the group we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well get more intel. I think that's easy intel.
Between Glup and Araxi, there's no way to stop you from getting in. So, yeah. It really just comes down to a decision of, do you want to talk to the owner of the estate, or do you just want to sneak in and take a look at their safe?
Yeah, let's test our skills out and check out a house.
Is everybody on board with that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Alright.
that sounds good.
I can boost people whenever you need. I can lift people, boost people.
The-
Climb up
the-
the wall, probably.
The records make it very easy to find the place. It's a fairly wealthy mansion. There's a guild high up who lives inside. They're not like a master of the guild or anything, but they pay their dues, and they're from an old family, so they've got old money. And yeah, here you are.
Were they currently up to date?
So the estate currently has a butler and some servants there. It looks like some of the family that lives there is at home, and some of them are out doing jobs.
These people work. They have jobs.
Kind of. As representatives within guilds, they have things that they do for those guilds to keep things flowing. This particular house houses... hold on, let me roll some dice.
I'm imagining this
Oh.
is basic. like Evitalis families, basically in the same sort of vein.
Same sort of vein, and these are former mining cooperative people who abandoned the mining cooperative sometime before things got rough. So they've been working within the private sector to help other similar organizations such as Smiths and things get up and running by issuing loans and doing some light banking.
If we find out that they've been having extra stolen from them, we should ask them for a discount on the loan for the blacksmith at the Little O'Brien community, if that is a thing, or just to give us a grant for our Good Samaritanship.
So you going in the front door, or are you sneaking in?
I'm thinking sneaking in.
Okay.
The answer to this could also be yes.
Yeah, why not both?
They can. You can split. You have some people sneak in and some people go in the front door. Take it from both sides. People at the front door is a great distraction.
I mean, I'll go in the front door.
Yeah.
Raxi will be on team sneak, I guess.
Bax will be on Team Front Gate, because I want to be with Reggie and be a junior Crimson Academy cadet, and I'm here on behalf of the community, here with my associate. Do you have like a longer name than Reggie? Is it just Reggie, or is it like Reginald or something?
Reginald is mine.
Oh, hell yeah, we're gonna go with Reginald.
Henri will join the break-in crew.
My full name is Reginald Ascon.
And Kofric?
No, I'll go to the front gate. I don't have anything
right.
useful to contribute in the other.
We've got a perfect 3-3 split. This is great. Everybody that's going in the back, make your stealth checks. This is, yeah. Stealth plus agility, most likely. Okay, so getting up to a top floor window is trivial for the Anu. I'm not even going to make you guys roll. Andre, how are you getting in?
Mm-hmm. I just realized I am not stealthy, and I actually have a better performance, so I think it probably makes sense for me to go with the front gate people. Basically, like, I go around the side, and then I look up, and I'm like, shake my head, and then go back with the other
Araxi,
dude.
like, goes to, like, pick you up and just lift you up there, and you're like, no.
Could
Yeah.
do. I would make Araxi make a roll for that, but yeah, you
I
could
would do it. Like, I think I could do that.
I do. The reason Henri was going to go with you guys is because I do have a good crime, which I was thinking might come in handy with the safe cracking. So if you think it's helpful to
I
have
think that would
then
be helpful. I think that would be helpful.
Can the Anu make a shared roll to make this
Yes.
happen? Can't they help each other?
I mean,
Well, one of you get a grip of Andre under each arm, and then just jump together. Yeah.
all right.
that is Henri's agility roll.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
I feel like this kid, I can apply lore pit, or my outfit to them. Okay.
And I'm guessing I think there's jumping pips could add to this.
Yes, I do. Just being an Anu gives you jumping pips.
Oh god. This might not need to be a contested or a assisted roll.
Jesus.
And that's why I wasn't going to bother you making you roll for yourself, but yeah.
It also explains why Henri just screamed all the way up and just failed the stealth.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's a perfect story reason for that.
That's so good.
See, as the front door opens, you will hear the scream from the backyard. What's your distraction play to keep notice away from that? The butler is looking at your assembled trio.
Maybe a throat clear might be a good one right now. As you introduce yourself.
All right, do a performance check.
I can't do that. I've got a propriety.
Okay.
I got a point of propriety. And I'm a Crimson Academy cadet, so maybe I introduce myself in that capacity.
Well, yeah, certainly. Do you have a way of using your propriety to keep attention away from the yell?
Is there any kind of formal salute or show of respect I need to exhibit to a specific class of person in the society?
Well, you're a member of the Crimson Guard, and
Precisely. So in relation to my social status.
Internally, the Crimson Guard, of course, consider themselves better than everyone else. But you do have your official guard salute.
Okay, if there's a vocal component to that, I will include that as well.
Okay.
And I would like to use agility propriety to make sure I execute this flawlessly.
Yeah, make sure you time it right.
Can I argue Gunther out for this at all? I don't even know. Ridiculous.
Gunther wasn't really about organizations. He
No,
was really just about kind of heroics, yeah. Gunther probably wouldn't really understand.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow. Nailed it. All right.
Yeah!
Okay. Yeah.
My drills are working! My drills are working! Fitness!
All right, Andre, your yelp of surprise as to Anu teach a dwarf to fly are completely concealed by the expert salute. So the butler asks, do you have an appointment?
I say, I am Reginald Ascot III. I'm here with an assistant from the Crimson Academy. I'm a representative of the Rights and Properties Guild. I kind of finger my junior Rights and Properties Guild button. And so yeah, we're just here to evaluate some. We're looking into some tax anomalies, not with you, but just sort of generally, and we're interested in doing a slight audit review of some of the things. I wonder if we could have a cup of tea and maybe discuss some things with the.
I will inform the mistress of your request. Please wait here. He gestures to some benches just inside the door in the antechamber. He says, I shall return shortly.
Very, very good. Very good.
I stand guard.
I have a sheaf of papers under the crook of my arm. I just pick them up off of the table somewhere as we were leaving the orphanage or the building. They're probably just like crayon drawings by the skulls or something. It doesn't really matter. It's just I just needed to look like I've got some sort of official thing.
When he returns, there is a woman behind him in an expensive-looking dress. But there are indications that she has put the dress on in a bit of a hurry, and there are grease stains from what looks like some kind of mechanical work, possibly smithing, from the like sort of charcoal kind of look to it on her face.
All right, guys.
Is she unmarried? I just need to know for my own personal reasons.
She is not. She is happily married, but yeah.
I'm devastated, but continue.
All right, guys, we're in the shit. So,
no shit.
What are we trying to get out of this?
Well, kind of like what you just said about the whole anomaly thing. We're doing an internal review, and we just need to verify some documents.
Okay, and this is we're in the not the Pinecone Boys, the Blades.
You're in one of the marks that the Broken Blades robbed a couple years ago.
That's the Broken Blades robbed. Okay, yeah.
Actually, this would be like one of their more recent robberies, yeah. Because that would be more useful to you for information.
Cool. So these people might actually be quite helpful. So I'll just say, so I understand that you were visited by a tax collector recently, and that you had some property stolen. We just want to make sure that proper procedure was followed and that the correct taxes were levied. Of course, we don't. We're basically looking to see whether there's maybe a suspicion that you may be owed a bit of a refund. We just want to make sure that there's no misunderstanding here. Your cooperation would be most appreciated and potentially beneficial to you, right? So you personally or under no investigation?
She raises eyebrows and replies, "We received our receipt, and everything appeared to be in order. I do not believe we are owed any additional compensation. The amounts were correct, and we have no interest in pursuing any legal filings against the executors of the taxation. You may make propriety or persuasion rolls against her. You may all do this. This is a group effort here. If you're going to try to get specific information, let me know what specifically you're looking for. If you want her to undertake an action, let me know what that action is.
Have we seen the receipt?
You have seen the version of the receipt that the Thieves Guild has. Yes. You have not seen her copy of it.
Okay, I'm going to say I wonder if we could see your copy of the receipt. We're just trying to make sure that the books are balanced. I'll make a propriety roll. Cunning, empathy. What do you think?
Oh, it really depends. You're not playing on her emotions so much. I don't think.
I am. Yeah, I mean, I could do either. I am kind of trying to reassure her that she's not under any investigation. There's no
right.
actual danger to her.
And you did sort of offer her potentially a refund, which would play on her emotions. So your initial statement did kind of lean towards empathy.
Yeah. So I don't care. What do you think?
I'm gonna tell her, hey, I'm just here for extra credit. I'm just trying to be a good, community member. This is a new program they're doing at the Crimson Academy. I don't really understand it, but man, I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, my cunning and my empathy are the same, so it doesn't actually matter.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is empathy because of that. I think that you're not really trying to trick her into anything. You're just trying to. I think you're a little bit trying. Not very much. Okay, and then Jackie, you were gonna support this with.
I guess. I mean, I'm not a strong persuader. I've got a point of propriety, but I don't even know how Max would approach trying to convince this lady.
Propriety is exactly what Ed was just rolling.
Yeah, I guess empathy. I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna take that like, hey, I'm just a kid. This is my first assignment. Please don't make it hard on me. That's empathy.
Yeah, that's what I'll go for then. Didn't even get a single quiver of the lip, not a tear, nothing. No pity for poor old Max.
And Kofric, did you have anything to contribute?
Do not leave your carcasses in the garbage.
So if I'm just kind of reinforcing the I'm assisting and I just want the we just want the accuracy. That's what we're trying to get. And just kind of pushing her to help us with the accuracy. Does that fall in line? Is that still persuasion?
That's persuasion. Yeah.
Okay, and then that's I don't really know if that's empathy or cunning. There's not really. I guess it is cunning, but there's no emotion play on there.
Yeah, there's no emotional play. You're laying a trap. You're saying, hey, do this with the hidden implication or else. Which is a bit of a bluff, but yeah. It's the lightest of all bluffs. Okay. Let's see how she rolls. Terribly.
Badly.
She complies. She says, all right, yeah, I'll take you up there, and we'll go get the receipt.
Does she have
Meanwhile,
kids?
What's that?
Does she have kids? Because maybe she does take pity on us poor little orphans.
She does. She has. You can see pictures or paintings. I'm sorry, not photographs.
Damn.
There are portraits. Very expensive portraits of her husband, their children. and lots of others besides. It seems to be a very large, very old family. Grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents going back generations line the walls.
Look at these photographs.
Okay. Meanwhile, yes, upstairs, climbing in through a window.
Enjoyed your first flight lesson.
You are very near to where the Thieves Guild documents indicated the safe could be found.
Henry is still catching his breath.
You don't actually see the safe, but yeah, all indications are when robbing this place, go here.
Are we there or are we near to there?
You're in the room it should be in. You just
All
don't
right.
see it. The room has paintings on the walls, couches on the floor, a table with 2 chairs in the middle, and it looks like some kind of strategy game on the table.
Is it like a secret book revolving bookcase, secret room kind of deal? Do you need to make a special move on the table to unlock? You know what I mean? Love secret rooms.
Araxi has done Araxi's part in this endeavor.
It might be time for crime.
Yeah. Henry's gonna kind of start looking around to see like where the safe might be, looking in like likely places, like floorboards, under desks.
Do you have the talent if I were to hide something?
I sure don't.
Okay. Yeah, just make an investigation check. Investigation plus cunning for this one.
I'll help with the investigation.
Investigation is so useful. Investigators find stuff instantly. Alright, take a... Oh, okay. Tice finds it. Alright, so, Glup, one of the pictures is a picture of a member of the house sitting upon a throne on a pile of money. And of course, when you take that picture off the wall, there is a safe behind it. Because, of course, the safe would be behind the picture of money.
They might as well put a sign that says "Rob me."
They kind of did. See, in a city where the taxation is done by breaking and entering, it behooves you to leave a door or leave a window unlocked and the safe in an obvious place to cause minimal destruction on the way in.
Because they will find your shit.
They will, and a lot of the nobles know that, and so they don't go to exceptional lengths to try to hide their stuff because the system works. The taxation gets done, and they don't have to worry about it. Getting the safe open, on the other hand, that requires skill. They can't let just anyone who wanders in the window get at their safe. It has to be somebody from the Thieves Guild. It has to be official. And the only way to test for that is a test of skill. So this will be a crime roll to open the safe. Or, alternatively, engineering, if you have it.
And cunning, I suppose?
Agility.
Oh.
Safe cracking. Your fingers must be... Oh, you can also do focus. Focus plus crime would also work. Your fingers must be very careful.
So, are we both going to kind of crack the safe together, like have both of our ears up against it or something?
Having a second person help you will not give additional dice, but it could give you pips.
Take the pips.
Yeah.
I have a 5 total.
I have a 7 total.
right.
Araxi is just going to study the strategy game on the table and let them do their thing.
Yeah, I have 4 in crime and 3 in agility.
All right. In that case, I could roll for pips, and then you could use the pip.
You got this.
While they're doing that, Araxi, make a cunning plus leadership check.
Can I argue Lorpin's pips
Yes,
from the
absolutely.
outfit?
It's a strategy game. That's absolutely applies.
Can I also argue focus for focusing on? Because I'm not playing against anybody. I'm just looking at the position, essentially.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he needed those pips too.
Alrighty, you got it by the skin of your nose there, but you got it. If you didn't have those pips, then we'd be in a different situation. Okay, the safe opens, and Araxi realizes that the person playing the blue pieces on the strategy game is 2 moves away from winning, if they play their moves correctly. All right, so the safe is open.
Time to start counting.
Time to start counting. You're just gonna start counting the money?
What else is in there?
There's some documents, but it's mostly money, like gold coins, gems, all very well sorted and organized.
Is there any receipts in there?
There are some documents that have some receipts. Yeah, most of the receipts are business related. They're not related to thievery receipts.
So, I don't know if I'm thinking too much into this, but our goal here was to see. So basically, there's a certain percentage that they're allowed to take, but we think that they might have taken more.
Yes.
How? I just think if we were to count the money in the safe, that doesn't necessarily prove whether they've taken more.
Well, we add it to the records and see how the math says, essentially.
Compare what's left.
Yeah. I guess it gets us like one variable.
So, like, if you were allowed to take, say, 20% of what was in there, you would have the numbers on what was taken. You know what should be in the safe, and you can count that out. Alternatively, Arax is going to suggest, we could take all this and throw it in the ocean.
Henri object. Why would you throw away perfectly good money?
So they don't have it?
You hear footsteps out, not in the room, not in the hallway, but further down. It sounds like somebody's coming upstairs. It sounds like 4 people are coming upstairs.
Is there a lock on the door?
You could close the door and maybe bar it or lock it from the inside.
Is there a way out if we do that?
The window. You came in.
Oh, we came into this room. Okay.
Yeah, let's shut the door and put a chair up into it to, like, block the door shut, just in case. But we do it quieter.
That's gonna be mad suspicious, but yeah.
We're gonna buy ourselves some time.
The other thing
You're not close. You can leave now and you'd still be chill. Just close shit up.
How long do we have enough time to count this out before they arrive? Based off the sound?
Not to count it. There's a lot of money here. You could try and do a rough estimate. There are talents to immediately know just from a glance, or because remember, you can use a talent you don't have by spending a character point. That's one of the uses for them.
I don't have one.
You could also try to hide. You could go back out the window and leave everything as it is.
Yeah.
So
How about we take all the money and go out the window and leave everything as it is? Count the money outside, and then we can always sneak back in, toss the money back in the safe, and it's like we were never.
toss it in the ocean. Yes, I agree.
Or toss it in the ocean. If they, push comes to shove, if we've got to toss it in the ocean, we will. Like if we're not able to get back in.
Well, I think we'd get in trouble by the Thieves Guild if we start taking all of the money from the place.
Oh, we'll get in super trouble. We will 100% get caught.
Well, ideally, I don't want to take all the money. I'd like to count the money, put it back in, but do it safely.
Here's what you do. You dip, and then we come in, we go through the official fucking thing, and if she pulls some weird shit, you can go back and check and see and corroborate the information she gives us versus what you find after she's left.
How high are the ceilings in this room?
Yeah, this is a pretty nice place. They're like 10 feet up.
So they're tall enough that I could just hang out on the ceiling and they wouldn't.
As long as they never look up.
Which
Is there a chandelier?
Would this room have a chandelier? I don't know that this room would. No, I don't think this.
It's the room with the guy with the king money mountain portrait doesn't have a chandelier.
Yeah, all right. There probably is a chandelier. That's fine. There's a chandelier.
Okay, so at the sound of the footsteps, Araxi's going to jump up there, jump back down, look to Henri. He's like, up? And then, depending on Henri's option, or choice, either jump back up or...
Glup will grab the other arm.
You guys get up there, for sure.
Alright, up!
Up!
Should Henri roll another stealth check to see if he screams? Or is he expecting it this time?
Are you expecting it this time? They gave you plenty warning, I think.
Yeah, I'd say this time I knew it was happening. Last time I was... Henri had looked up and started walking away, so it was more of a shock. But this time he knows...
It's not quite as accomplished.
It's more precise, right? You're trying to get up to a chandelier, so it's a little tougher.
So the rest of the party enters the room with the matron of the family, and she goes immediately to the table in the middle of the room and does not look up and notice what the rest of you see, which is two frogs and a dwarf stuck to the ceiling, clinging to the chandelier. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah. So she turns around, makes sure you guys can't see what she's doing, does something on the top of the table, and then the top of the table opens up, and she reaches inside and gets some papers from out of the table. After shuffling through them for a bit, she says, here it is, and she hands you a receipt.
Can we, from the top, watch what she did?
Yes, she won the game, essentially.
I knew it!
She played the moves that you had seen when you examined it that would be a winning move.
Okay, I'm going to carefully look at this receipt. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but I'm going to do my best.
The information on it is identical to what the Thieves Guild had, which is to say that it shows the amount that they claimed they had, and the amount that they claimed they took.
Any discrepancies that I see? It's all formal and
It's all formal. It looks correct. That receipt looks correct. Anyway.
Right.
I say, well, everything appears to be in order here, as far as I can tell. Thank you for your cooperation. It will be reported.
She says, well, thank you for your concern and your interest. If that's all, I will happily escort you, and my butler will see to it that you are taken outside in comfort.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure. Jackie, what? I'm not sure what else we've got. What other pretense we have to be here?
Yeah, we're good. I think we gotta get out of here. Our approach has rendered this information. Let's see what the back door reveals.
Okay, and I am aware that there are frogs on the fan.
Oh yeah,
Finley.
you can totally see them up there. She just hasn't looked up to notice them yet.
Let's ask her about her family history as we're walking out the door. Let's
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just gonna strike up a conversation or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm actually an orphan. I'm doing a training program. I'm formerly of the mining cooperative. I don't know how you felt about them. Mixed feelings, I guess, is the best way to describe. But now I'm trying to make good for myself. And just to move up in society.
She listens to your story, empathizes with it. Her family was with the mining cooperative for generations, but their recent activities, particularly the return of Gaston, or Gustave, what was his name?
Gaston. Yeah.
Gaston. His return soured them as they were not politically aligned with a lot of his agenda, and so the family retracted the assets it could and gave up the assets they couldn't. And since then she's been working with local smiths to, keep things operational in the absence of the old guild services that used to exist. The family's wealth is generational, but also involves a lot of property that is not necessarily all in Celebre, but the property that is in Celebre is used a lot by smiths. So she's very much connected to the smithing trade. She reminds you a lot of the smith that was in Oakbrine, except that she is wrapped that smithiness in all of the fashion and pomp and circumstance of the upper crust of society. And you successfully distract her. Frog and dwarf descend from ceiling. Frogs and dwarf. There's two of you. And
Maraxi makes a commotion like, do you want me to knock her out or something?
They're all leaving the room and walking away.
I gotta say, I love that in the GIF, it's Animal that falls off, and Kermit, being the frog, just manages to continue.
Yes.
Continue holding on. Now it's your turn to check those documents and check what's in the safe and see if there's anything
Yeah. I think that's basically what we're going to do, is compare the documents to the occupant or the safe stuff,
and verify and check inside that game board to see what else is in there.
Yeah.
So reopening the game board, you get a chance to look at the documents within. Certainly there is the official receipt they got from the Thieves Guild, but it looks like they also have documents from a private accounting office that did a checkup to see if the Thieves Guild took what they said they took. The result is that the Thieves Guild not only didn't take as much as they said that they took, the Thieves Guild didn't report accurately how much money was here. There was way more money here than what the guild operation reported. And they took almost nothing.
So they left something. They left a lot more than they should have.
They didn't actually leave anything, but they, the reporting is very, very different from the reality. And it's not different in the we skimmed some extra money when we robbed this place kind. It's in the we only robbed this place to put it on record that we robbed a place, and all the money that we claim we got definitely came from somewhere else.
Yeah, so that's like money laundering, possibly.
It's definitely money laundering
and fraud.
and it's fraud in the favor of the family here as a way to potentially keep this family from talking about it. Because if they talk about it, they'd have to give up the extra money that was not reported.
So they're covering up the murder. They're covering up a murder potentially in exchange for getting to keep their tax money.
Whatever they're covering up, it's important enough to be worth losing a little bit of money in order to get the money that they got. Because they could have robbed this place for much more than they did.
Can we tell how much exactly was supposed to be robbed more?
They left about 100,000 gold coins worth of treasure that they did not need to take, or that they could have taken. They were allowed to. They should have taken, and they reported an additional twice that amount, smaller total that was here than was.
They misreported what was there.
They misreported what was here so that the people who are here would get taxed less. So they basically helped these people commit tax fraud.
And for what reason is the other thing? And I wonder if you can glean that anyhow.
Right, and by giving them an incentive to not rectify the records with the Thieves Guild, they've essentially covered their tracks. In that there was no way this family was going to go to the Thieves Guild and say, hey, something was wrong, they didn't take the right amount, because then the family would have to give the correct amount to the Thieves Guild, which would be approximately 300,000 gold coins.
So I was saying, we could just recalculate the stuff and leave a receipt here. We could take these notes plus the money they owe to the Thieves Guild, hand it over.
This is probably a lot larger than just one residence. In fact, it might be all of the residences.
How deep does it go? Does it go all the way to the top? I don't know where the top would be.
The mob boss? Of course it goes all the way to the mob boss. That's how the mobs work.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, the issue is that they misrepresented the amount of money that they should have been taxed. So that's a huge issue, because that's tax avoidance in general. Now, I'm sure that this family understands that you don't fuck around with these people and their money. And so they must be doing it for a very fucking good trade-off, like,
If they're profit sharing with murderers, that's a really bad thing. But this lady has a relatively powerful smithing group, which is potentially competition for us, but also potentially a very valuable ally. So the ability for us to, Reggie just says, like, so on the one hand, it's pretty illegal what they're doing. On the other hand, there is a market opportunity here, I think.
Blackmail.
I'm very curious as to what Reggie's moral compass is exactly. Like, is he cool with doing illegal things, or just unethical ones that are perfectly legal? Like,
Reggie shrugs and says, "I don't want to do anything illegal. We're not doing anything illegal." But I mean, if these people, if these people want to give us a very large discount on metal or smithing supplies, I mean, that's just business. We know something that's not generally available to the public, and that something gives us some advantage in business negotiations with this particular group. I don't see a problem with that. There's no rules against that.
Ever the libertarian is in the free marketplace of ideas, bro. Or in this case, information.
Well, we've
Kinda
just
just wanna-
crossed the 2-hour mark. Do we want to call this an end for tonight, or did you guys want to investigate one more place? It'll probably take another 45 minutes if we keep going.
I'd say that's a nice, clean little arc. I think we got everything we could. We'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to like I just want to like take the money difference plus the receipts, and we can take it to the Thieves Guild.
The alternate thing that we could do is take it to their gang rivals and trade that information for extremely favorable terms on the low bride.
Yeah, in either case, we can basically take what information we have here so that we can figure out how we're going to.
Yeah. Basically, when we go back to the orphanage, we found some dirt on a gang.
What you have is very interesting. You have a piece of information that has an approximate value of 30,000 or 300,000 gold coins.
A $300,000 secret.
Right. You have a $300,000 secret that you can't really just trade on the open market. You can only exchange it for a certain limited number of things. But they're pretty potent things, and picking which one is going to be an interesting choice. One of those things is the goodwill of the Thieves Guild, and members of the Thieves Guild may find that very valuable. One of them is, of course, as you talked about, you could blackmail this family that's helping the Smiths. You could bribe a favorable terms for security, and there may even be interactions you can do directly with the committers of these crimes. Also, there's the curiosity. Clearly, they're not just laundering money, but they're going to extra efforts and expense to cover up that laundering. What is it they're covering up? If it's a murder, that's terrifying, because
that means they're really scary people, and like you're in danger.
You're in danger, and the Crimson Guard need to be notified.
Yeah, and you mentioned that did you say that some of them went out to get money and stuff potentially?
What?
Like I thought that might have been connected to Oakbrine, like those people that were those mysterious pirate people that were in Oakbrine, or might just not be connected at all.
Oh, all the way back then. Those guys were actually from Half Elven, but so not related to this. But yeah.
Was it the Blade Breakers that were helping with it?
The Blade Breakers are the rival gang that are rivals to the.
I think what she's asking is who did the burglary / not burglary correctly.
Oh yeah,
who's helping them with the tax.
The Blade Breakers are the ones who did the burglary and misrepresented all of the numbers.
Got it.
The one thing that's worth mentioning, because of the front door method that we did to maintain the distraction, they do know that something is poking around after that. Like, the pretenses that we used ended up being pretty close to the truth.
That's true. That might have tipped the...
Yeah, but they're going to presume that we went back and reported that nothing anomalous was happening.
Well, yeah, but why were
they
we
think
asking
that way,
questions? You know?
Yeah, I mean, if the IRS came to me and started asking questions about my taxes, I'd start getting a little bit nervous.
If the IRS comes to you, ask questions about your taxes, and then they go away saying, yep, everything seems to be in order, you're still nervous.
Especially if you know it's not right.
Right.
If the IRS comes to you asking about your taxes and you know you fudged some numbers, and then they say everything looks good and go away, yeah, that's a little scary. Although she might be going, oh, thank goodness. Like, thank goodness they didn't ask to look at the other papers in the desk.
Ooh, are we still in the house? Maybe we could wait until the people who go out the front door and like listen in to hear her reaction.
Can we flash back to that?
Sure.
Also, it might be somewhat helpful that it wasn't really the IRS that was knocking on her door. It was the
It's just a bunch of
Properties
kids.
Guild. So,
Yeah.
so the Rights and Properties Guild doesn't really give a shit if you pay your taxes. They just care that you're paying your taxes on official Rights and Properties Guild stamped paper. Right. So if it was the Thieves
And they
Guild, that
sent
might
their
have
low-level people.
They sent children. They sent interns,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So they're clearly not taking it seriously. Maybe.
That's
It was very much like a proving ourselves thing. It's like it's
We
like
were-
we were given a task and a school assignment for the day.
Baby's first coffee run kind of deal.
Yeah, I do have one small question. Does how many like places do you think we can going through notes do we figure out like how many other places might be like this place? Do you think? Like,
From the list you had over the past about 20 years, there's maybe been 200 or 300.
so that if it's anything like this, that's like millions of dollars just vanished, being laundered.
Okay, so
Millions of dollars being acquired and then processed to look like legitimate acquisitions. Yeah.
which I'm just going to point out that as we are playing children, and I want you to know that this is serious grown-up shit that people get murdered over.
Yep.
Yeah.
you wouldn't murder a child.
Oh yeah, they fucking would. The mining cooperative people are not fucking scared of shit. They
find out
had a
pretty
woman
soon.
inside of a dark box. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They locked a child in a magic box because the child radiated healing energy and they wanted to use it to make super soldiers. But that's the mining cooperative, and this is a criminal syndicate called the something Blades. Sorry, my notes were on a different page.
Blade breaker.
Blade Breakers, there we go.
Yeah, but if you're, I don't know, millions of dollars worth of tax fraud is pretty substantial big boy shit.
Yes. Now, it is over a 20-year period, so it's not like a single $1 million thing that happened. But, yeah, it looks like they definitely are dealing with a few hundred thousand a year in these processes. Yeah. Some bigger, some smaller. This is one of the big ones and one of the recent ones, which made it easier for you guys to do the numbers on. Unless it was one single heist that they've been slowly working to launder for 20 years.
Big heist with was it an orc and a gnome?
No. This is the Blade Breakers. The Orc and the Gnome are the Pinecone brothers.
Okay.
After a little while, you guys hear the sound of a hammer hitting steel coming from the basement. It doesn't seem like she's coming back up.
So shall we collect the money?
Don't think we want. I mean, I think we should collect all the money and throw it in the lake. Let's be clear, but I don't think that we want them to know we were here.
Yeah, I think it's best that we leave no trace. So, I vote for us trying to put everything back exactly as we found it. Dust off our fingerprints from the ceiling fan.
Make a cunning plus crime check to return everything to exactly the place that you extracted it from.
I want to argue that Vivian has advantage in regards to the game board.
In getting the pieces back, yes.
It doesn't help me that much.
I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but because this is for the betterment of the Thieves Guild, I want to while we're slipping through things, I want to slip out into to try to take the what is owed, so I can report it back to the Thieves Guild.
You understand that this is like an enormous amount of.
Yeah, that is probably too much money for
You
one
can't
child to carry.
How big are your pockets, buddy? Because I don't know if you can actually. You know what I'm saying?
Gold has weight.
Has enough there's things that are worth more.
I'm going to argue that you can't safely get Henri out of here and also have the money.
Araxi would be asking, why can't you help?
I mean, I suppose he could roll for it, but
This is a really important question. Is there going to be something in your pocket that shouldn't be there?
Money collection is obviously like really not your jurisdiction either.
Yes, but this is a fallacy that has not been corrected.
it has nothing to do with Wolf Den, though.
Correct. This is a fox den thing you're trying to do, not a wolf den thing.
Well, Kristen rolled a 3 in trying to hide her shit.
Yes. So, Kristen, Andre believes that everything is back where it should be. Unless Tice beats that roll with a crime check to steal something, or if you're just going to leave it be, then...
Can I have Araxi help with this? Araxi does have 8 dice for this, but...
Yeah.
I know you said I might have advantage with that piece, but like I cannot justify putting my athletic potential into this.
It's not exactly an athletic activity, yeah.
I move the pieces on the game board extremely athletically.
So yeah, that would be athletic crime, or would that be cunning crime?
This would be agility crime if you're going to try and hide it from your party members.
Wait, does my pips from my costume also count for that? Because if so, that's a success.
Yeah, for the strategy thing, they do, yes.
Okay. It didn't matter.
All right, Glup is skilled enough to steal 3 precious gems without the party noticing, if that's what you want to do.
Yes, and I'm going to bring the thing, and also I got the discrepancy note, so I can at least help the guild out.
Isn't that going to get you in massive trouble with the wolves?
Yeah, you're probably...
like,
I'm going to
tipping your
say...
hand.
I'm going to assume that you will
Like-
literally be fucking banned. Like, banned
Yeah.
from Wolf. Because they will find out. They will fucking find out. Like, they're going to do an accounting of this place.
I mean, if your plan is to go to the wolves and hand it to them, then they'll find out when that happens, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all about walking
Like,
into a building, doing a thing, and leaving,
They
and
will
no one ever
legit,
knowing
like,
that they
kick
were
you.
there.
Like, they will kick you out and you won't be welcome back.
Right.
Is that the wolves or the fox?
The wolves. The fox would be totally happy. You give the fox guild, like you bring some gems back. They're like, sweet, let's just write it.
Oh, the fox.
Right up
Oh yeah,
the
which one is the tax one? Fox is the tax one, right?
Yeah, the Fox Guild is the one that they give you a promotion for this, but yeah,
the wolves are not supposed to exist.
right. There is no
So yes,
wolf.
I'm going to send it to the Fox Den to tell them about the discrepancies because they're the ones that take everything. I'm not going to tell it to my actual guild because they're not. This does not concern them.
The other thing is that by telling the guild that automatically takes away all leverage that we had. We were going to use this information for something.
Yeah, but he's a guild member, so it's his prerogative. But it does jeopardize his wolf status by a lot.
But then the families don't have the same protection anymore as that they had before. So they have more chances of talking then because they don't have the they're losing a lot of money now because of the laundering did.
What
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no,
to
no.
say
Why
is
would
that
they-
we
why-
as orphans wanted to use this information to do something, and turning it over to the Thieves Guild prevents us from doing so.
Like, we want advantageous relations for the smithy, for Oak rebuild, loans, and so on and so forth. So that does burn that option.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Reggie wants to blackmail, but he has no say in this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you can do what you want, right? Like, that's everybody's decision. The meta help thing, I think, for you at the moment is, do you want to stay in Wolfston or not? Your decision is impacting that for your personal character the most, and then for the group, like, we all make decisions screw each other over here and there. It happens.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Well,
There's just some
It's
help
just about
to
whether-
you if you
whether
want it
you're-
or not.
Whether you're a thief or a spy, that's the core.
yeah, I'm not. Well, I'm not telling my main den I'm doing this. I'm just tipping off the Fox den about this so that they can rectify it and then take away the leverage that the
Yeah, I mean,
breakers have.
Yeah, I get it, but your main guild is a guild full of spies that you're going to just assume isn't going to find out that you did this. I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Yes. I saw something that was something that was wrong that is impacting the way that the thieves as a whole are collecting taxes, and apparently they've lost millions of dollars because of this. So I should give the evidence to help ensure that the Thieves Guild is, in fact, as a whole, betters from it.
It really is a question of what would Glup do. If that's what Glup would do, then that's what Glup would do.
Yeah.
The Fox Guild does this. This is their thing. The Wolf Guild does not. The Wolf Guild teaches you to not have anything to do with finances, to be completely separate from that world. We're about stealth. We're about acquiring information, and sometimes we're about doing something about it, but only outside the city, never inside the city.
If you're banned from one guild, can you just go to the other?
Totally. Not a problem.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So basically, if Glup does this, could get banned from Wolf, but then Fox Den might
will
just
love
be
it.
like, come on in, you're now an officer.
Yeah. Fox will love you for this. Wolf... This is going against their teachings. It's absolutely true, but if it's what Glup would do, then that's the thing to do.
If I need to explain to the wolf, if I'd explain to the wolf den as a whole of the thieves guild as a whole, this is a major loss of things for the guild as a whole, that we've lost millions of dollars from the city.
Well, they already told you that the Wolf's Den doesn't get any money.
No, I don't care about the money. It's the guilds as a whole, not because all they're separate dens, but as a whole, we still deal with all this stuff.
Well, you already know what they think, so you can try and argue with them, but they're going to be the ones that decide.
Yeah.
The Wolfstone would bankrupt the Thieves Guild if it was the orders of the king to do so, and it benefited the city. They don't care about any of that shit.
Yeah, they're like good of the whole based on finances is, I assume, not a compelling argument.
But they're also an external arm. It's like Jackie, you played someone in the Wolves.
Yeah, I
before.
played Cantor, whose name no one knew.
That's right.
I was that guy over there.
Yep.
Cantor is a fun character.
Yeah.
Because for like almost a year of playing, none of us knew the character's name.
Yeah, like canonically, yeah, none of they just like him, that guy over there.
It's like that guy over there, and then we turn to point at that, and there'd be nobody there.
Yeah. I had like a whole tragic little backstory thing written up for him, but really he just ended up being like, flirtatious spy, I think was the general characterization, if I'm not mistaken.
Alrighty. Well, you don't have to decide now. You've stolen the gems. That's the important thing for the moment. And you can decide what to do with them at next session. And I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, before I stop the recording, did anybody want to take care of anything back at the orphanage or anything before we stop for the day? Any questions, comments? Did you want to go rushing straight to Fox Guild? Or Fox Clan? Or Den?
We're just going to try and milk this for what it's worth.
Yeah, I would try. So I don't want to like hold on to this line myself because
Henri is going to be joining.
Joining where?
If Glup does that, Henri will be kind of like tagging along in the
Okay.
hopes of getting some sort of auxiliary honor. Henri is part of the Fox.
Yeah.
I will say the reason Henri didn't wanted to put everything back was just because it seems like there's some sort of larger thing going on that may involve murder, and is kind of nervous about that. But like, if there's already going to be some gems returned to the Fox Den and possible valor to be taken from that,
Possible merits for.
he's might as well get in on that.
And if there is something else going on, what you effectively are doing is getting the adults involved, just as the mages did with the previous adventure.
So
Although these adults are much, much better than the mage adults at going off without you and taking care of things without you tagging along. Stealth is kind of like one of their first lessons they teach.
I like
The
how like
ocean's a little-
Henri is like the least stealthy criminal.
That's why we work good together, because I help you with the stealthing part while you help with the other stuff.
All right, so how are you going to deliver it to the Fox Clan then, or Fox Den? You're just going to walk up there?
Yeah, with the bag, with the notes to show the discrepancies and stuff.
Okay. Their den is not mysterious or hidden. It's well known and respected. You enter. They do recognize you as Thieves Guild. Part of being part of Wolf Den means that you don't wear any indication that you are part of Wolf Den. So as far as anyone knows here, you're just another intern studying to be a thief, and you haven't chosen a den yet.
Yeah.
There is a den master that you can talk to.
Yeah, I guess we'll go up to them and talk to the den master.
Hello, youngling. Thinking of joining the Foxes?
Not currently. But I do have something that we do have something that should be on the Fox's radar. It has to do with some of the recent tax collections. As I pull out some of the receipts and stuff, like it seems some of your clients have been lying to you. Or at least we found some patterns about it, and I'll pull up some of the gems and the receipts, like the copied receipts.
So, an excellent find. Well done, little fox cub. You really should consider joining our den. Work like this is exemplary.
Henri helped.
Says now we will need to keep the gems sorted with this information, as we can't take more than we're allowed. But I am certain that you'll find that our commendations are worth their weight in gemstones.
Yes.
He's almost certainly lying. You don't need much perception to see that.
Yes. And so look at here. This has been going on for the last 20 years, so there's been millions of coins have been deprived from the city.
What a delight you are. So much useful information. Thank you. Don't you worry. We'll look into it.
But I do have a small request. We need to. We're still trying to. We need help with doing some investigations on the exactly, because it seems like the people that are doing this are acquiring money and bringing money outside of the city, and we need to find out more. But if the families that are currently attached to this are find out, they might be spooked into not saying anything.
And who is this we you're talking about? Don't worry, little fox. We are on the case. The grown-ups will take it from here. Go on, enjoy some merriment. I think someone's got some candy around here. Stole it from a baby recently, from what I heard. He chuckles.
I think I'm good. We might have a little bit of ice cream at home when we get back.
All right, and you head back.
I'm gonna leave a letter to the wolf den to tell him exactly what I did.
When you go to where you thought the wolf den was, the building is empty, and it just looks completely abandoned.
I guess they move. They continue to move. All right, I think that's good for now. Does anyone else have anything?
That was it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then, and we'll pick up next week.